So you're a Persona fan. Or you're not. Either way, you probably haven't played any Persona games. And that means you definitely haven't played Persona 1. Persona 1 was the initial spark to the series, which has now dethroned Sonic the Hedgehog as Sega's flagship franchise. Sorry Sonic, at least you get whatever the hell this is. Persona was actually created as a spin-off to the Shin Megami Tensei series. It's like if the Paper Mario series got better and more popular than the Mario platformers, which it should be already, but you didn't hear that from me. Shin Megami Tensei was pretty popular in Japan, but its use of Christian demons was seen as too demonic to get localized in the West. Cause trust me, you don't want to get Christian moms upset that little Timmy is literally summoning Satan in his favorite video game. So ATLUS, the creator of the series, decided to hide all the demons behind the normal school life of teenagers. And it actually worked, blossoming into the Persona series we have today and creating the genre of music known as Persona vibes.
Wow, this is giving me major Persona vibes.
Modern Persona games have pretty much boiled down to Persona 3, 4, and 5. And almost everyone forgets about Persona 1 and 2. Less 2 because it has literal Hitler in it, don't ask. So because of that, I'm gonna give you a rundown on what goes down in Persona 1 in 10 minutes. So let's start with our main cast. We have our classic silent, dark-haired shonen protagonist, I know, super original for a Persona game, who doesn't have a canon name. In the manga, he's called Naoya, so we'll stick with that name for this video. There's also Maki, a continually sick girl who's the main focus of this game. We'll learn more about her in a little bit. Masao is the stereotypical loudmouth best friend, with a heart of gold. In the American version, he was actually changed to be black, and his name was Mark, but we'll stick with Masao for now. He has a crush on Maki too. There's also Kei, a rich, arrogant trust fund kid. Eriko, who is your typical girly girl, also super interested in occult stuff for some reason, basically goes on Tumblr. Yuka, who is a gyaru. Hidehiko, a cocky playboy jock. His English name was Brad, so I think that gives you enough information on what he's like. Yukino, a stern but caring tomboy. And finally, Reiji, every gamer's dream, an antisocial Chad with a six-pack, who is also broken as fuck in this game. Okay, big asterisk about the party. Later Persona games usually have a set party, but in Persona 1, you have to recruit the members, and based on your decisions, your party will change, having a maximum of 5 party members. So, for each route, you have some fixed party members, and you have some optional party members, but I'll explain those once we get to the routes. That's our main party. They don't get as fleshed out compared to later Persona games, so you won't hear about them as much in this video, but they still each have their small moments. Alright, let us start the game. Hidehiko, after school one day, convinces the gang to play a game called Persona, similar to a Ouija board type game, but with anime characters. In the middle of playing, a little girl in white appears, pleading for help, and suddenly they all become unconscious. They wake up in a strange realm and meet a strange man in a mask called Philemon, who has a familiar butterfly motif that later Persona fans may recognize. Philemon gives each Naoya and his friends the power to summon stands, also known as Personas. Hey, there's the name drop! Knowing Philemon also gives the party access to a strange otherworldly room called the Velvet Room, which is inhabited by a familiar friend, Igor. Igor doesn't really have a major role in Persona 1, besides doing all the dirty work with your personas, but it's good to see our old buddy present. A couple days later, the gang goes to visit their sick friend Maki in the hospital, who, as I mentioned before, is always bedridden. Talking with Maki's mom, she reveals that the town is slowly being taken over by demons, and the person behind all of this is Kandori, the president of SEBEC, which is your standard Resident Evil biology and energy type corporation. Okay, here the story gives an option to the player. You can either go confront the Corp and Kandori, and save the town, which is the main route, or you can completely disregard the town, the company, the demons, and just explore a cute little rumor about your high school, which is an alternate route called the Snow Queen Quest. Let's go over the main story first. For this route, the fixed party members are Naoya, Masao, Maki, and Kei. You can choose one of Eriko, Hidehiko, Yuka, and Reiji for our last party member. But let's be real, we all know who to go for. The gang decides to confront a billion-dollar corporation, as all high school teenage friend groups do, and are joined by Maki, who's feeling better than normal. During the journey to SEBEC, they fight some demons and realize that Maki suspiciously has no memories of being sick. Pretty sus if you ask me. They confront Kandori inside a strange machine called the Diva System, which is a machine that can alter reality, and deduce that he's using this machine to blend a dark reality with their current one, causing all the monsters and demons to show up in town. Out of nowhere, a little girl in black called Aki shows up, and the party is rendered unconscious. They wake up in an alternate reality. Going through malls, forests, and castles, which are all just dungeons, they go find Kandori again, and he reveals his goal was to become a god with the ideal new world. Real original, buddy, haven't heard that one before. He becomes possessed by his own persona, and is swiftly defeated by the game. If you chose the wrong dialogue up at this point, you get the bad ending, and the game ends here. But you and I have the power of friendship, and game walkthroughs, so let's continue on. Right before he dies, Kandori tells the party that the sus Maki with him is actually an idealized version of herself, and she originates from the real Maki's heart. Just like Aki in black, and the first girl from the beginning of the game, called Mai, are also parts of Maki, representing the innocence and the evil side of her. So to recap, we have Maki, who is a sickly girl, we have idealized Maki in the party, who is regular Maki but healthy but not real, and then we have Aki in black, who is the evil little girl Maki, Mai in white, who is the good little girl Maki. Phew! Talk about different personas. Maki is a messy, depressing girl, so Naoya and the gang set off to help her fix herself. Philemon reveals that the real Maki is trapped in a place called the Sea of Souls, which is like a river of starry sky, and the place where all human life begins. Checkmate, sex ed teachers. On your way there, you reach a hallway, which judges all of your dialogue decisions to this point to see if they're morally correct. If you pass, the game buffs you and gives you a bunch of items to fuse the most powerful personas. Once again, thank you Internet Game Walkthroughs. They rescue Maki from the Sea of Souls after dealing with one of the most annoying enemies in Persona. Screw you, you little imps! But then run into Pandora, a creepy ass monster with Maki's face on it, who is yet another piece of Maki who hates this world and wants to use the Diva System to destroy the world. She's the equivalent to the ultra-negative shadow selves in later Persona games, representing nihilism. After they kill Pandora, all of Maki's pieces do a fusion, and Maki is once again complete. Maki gives a kiss to Naoya, leaving Masao in shambles, and they return to the real world. The town is saved, and the real Maki is not sick anymore. Philemon comes back and gives them a pat on the back, talks about one's true self, and finally takes off his mask, turning into a flock of golden butterflies. And then he never appears in the series again after Persona 2. Now onto the alternate route, the Snow Queen Quest. For this route, the fixed party members are Naoya, Yuka, and Yukino. Our boy Masao leaves for his crush Maki, so those two are unplayable. This time, we can choose two of Eriko, Hidehiko, and Kei. Remember, this starts after they discover the town is being run amok by demons. The gang ignores all the SEBEC stuff and instead investigates a rumor in their school about a play where all the actors who have used a mask have died. They find the mask and their homeroom teacher, Sayako Takami, not to be confused with Best Girl Takemi from Persona 5, please fight responsibly in the comment section, puts on the mask and gets possessed. She then freezes the entire town, creates a snow castle with towers, and also creates a snowman named Olaf. Okay, not that last part, but pretty damn similar to Elsa. The gang sets out to save Sayako, and this time, Philemon contacts them early and says the sole way to save her is the Demon Mirror, which is currently broken and has shards scattered all around the 3 ice towers, each which have their own in-game timer to complete. While getting the shards, we learn that the spirit possessing the mask was none other than Sayako's former classmate, Tomomi, who is then also possessed by the Snow Queen Asura, an evil spirit who wants to do evil things. They gather the shards, put the mirror back together, and defeat Asura, and the town is saved once again. But wait, there's more. In the epilogue, Masao comes back to the party to tell them that he's too weak to do the SEBEC route by himself, so the whole party gets back together to rescue Maki. That's the ending of the game in this route. And that's the story of Persona 1. Please click the first link in the description to claim your certificate of being an official Persona fan. Honestly, the story's pretty standard, evil guy wants to rule the world type beat. None of the party characters besides Maki really get fleshed out with their own struggles and stories compared to later Persona games, and the battle system is nothing special, being very similar to Pokemon. But despite all this, Persona 1 had its special charm to it, and it was one of the first series that stepped away from the fantasy world type RPG and tackled more realistic issues, like the balance between inner and outer self. And also picking anime waifus, like who the hell doesn't enjoy that? Subscribe or I'm gonna send these guys after you.